Hi crafters, this is Paulette. I just wanted to share really quick the rest of the things that I accumulated during April. This was my Stampin' Up set from card class. It's called Apothecary Art. It has been calling my name. I really don't like March, April, and May because the catalog ends in May and there are so many things I want. So I decided to go for the gusto and get what I really want, which I rarely do. And I think this will just be lovely to color in. I was going to try not to order the dies, but I ended up for the month of May ordering these matching dies. And so I'm really excited for those to come in. These have this nice banner area where you can write stuff, stamp stuff. I think they'll just be lovely. And here's even a nice little journaling one. Oh, I didn't even see that happy birthday and so grateful. So some really great sentiments with that as well. And the for you. They ended up being $30.11. We had free shipping last month, so with the tax they were $30.11. I got these sequins at Walmart for $1, just in silver, and I thought that would be fun. Hobby Lobby is clearing out a lot of their Tim Holtz stuff, so I've been nabbing it when I can find it. This is the 1/4 inch hole punch, and I wasn't very successful on my first go with it. I did cut 2 pieces here at the same run. I tried lining these punches up on the edge here, but that didn't work. I couldn't get my cardstock to stay in there. So I moved them out a little bit. I almost feel like this needs a grid on it so you know where you're at. So I just kind of guessed, and you can see I didn't do a very good job. I guessed over way too far. But I still think it will be a fun thing to use. You can punch several layers of cardstock with this. If you have any die cut shapes at all, the example I'm going to use is I have some large hearts, and you could die cut several of them, you know, just on the corner, the side of the heart, and make tags. And you can make, if you have any of the spellbinder shapes, you can make little mini albums and put your little holes in there. So I just think it will be still a very useful thing once you play with it and figure out how to use it. I got this C plate. This is the extended Cuttlebug C plate for the extra long dies. Here is the regular plate just in comparison. And I have a few of these Lifestyle Crafts or Quick Cuts dies, and the regular C plate is just not long enough to cut these 4x8, either the number sets or the alphabets. Here's an alphabet, and I end up having to, you know, cut this half of the alphabet and then scoot it down and cut this half of the alphabet. So this longer plate will be great. And it will allow me to cut some of these, you know, longer dies, like the mailbox, and the berry container is just a little bit longer than the original die cutting pad. Now I'm going to try not to use this as a cutting plate. I just want to use it as an elevation and use my bee pads for cutting. And that way this will live and last forever and not have to be replaced. I'm on my second C plate, and I try to use both sides to keep it, you know, keep it from curving. You know, when these machines originally came out, they were telling us that these cutting pads all needed to be, you know, up on the top. And I think what would have been better would be if you had your cutting pads on the bottom. Then they wouldn't, the A spacer plate would have kept all that from curling. So I'm going to try to use them that way. The last thing I have is this Sharpie. It's a very fine point marker, and the selling point was that it was a no bleed. And sometimes you'll have, you know, like detailed images that don't stamp all the way, and I need just to finish one little gap in the image. And so that's why I got it. It says no bleed, but it does bleed a little bit. I worked on the T here because it didn't impress all the way. Here's an original T, and you can see how thick this ended up being. And it did travel. It didn't bleed all the way through, but like every time I came along here, I was going too slow, and it would travel outside, and I kept having to try to smooth that, and the top of my T just kept getting bigger and bigger. So I don't know, but it will be fine for just filling in when you just quick, and if you use a very light touch, I think it will be just fine. I had to have something. I've been trying to use my Zig photo pen that you're supposed to write on photos with, and it was just too thick of a point. This is a very, very fine point. It writes really nicely. So it would even be a very cool, you know, writing pen if you had something that it wouldn't bleed through on too long, if you didn't stay in one place too long. So I think that wraps it up. If you have any questions, be sure and let me know.